Lover.
Oh, it's another day here. Another night, I should say, at the Comeback Team Studios. This is your host, Bek Lover, and you're listening to the Interesting Times podcast, where I gather all the news, all the gossip, all the rumors in the back end, and I try to keep you in the know. If it's your first time here, make sure you smash that button. This is your boy, Bek Lover, and welcome to another live episode of the Interesting Times podcast. We live in such a crazy world. You don't need to watch movies. You really don't. Because whatever you're seeing happening right now in reality is going to be more wild than any science fiction or scary movie or action thriller you could ever possibly watch or read. From people being burned alive in the subways to World War III basically in full scale to political turmoil in every direction you look into, new sicknesses that are creating emergencies in states like California, to drones, to aliens, to what the fuck is going on. If you want to know what's going on, make sure you stay tuned here. I don't claim to know it all, but I give you my 2 cents, and I love to hear yours. And sometimes I miss some of the stories in the back end. Today I had a very chaotic day. I've only been back 2 days from the Caribbean, and I'm flying out again. And I got to be honest with you, part of the reason I'm flying out is I don't trust what's going on. I really don't. I don't want to be in a major, I don't want to be in the Northeast. I really don't. I really, really don't. There's a lot going on. I'm trying to pull up these comments here, see if I could see my friends who pay attention here. But we're going to cover a lot of little stories. I have not had a chance to make my response to Wes Huff. I will. He's not going anywhere. So that's going to be coming soon. And my crazy city having... I hope you saw the episode yesterday. This episode is called The Countdown to Chaos, so forgive me. And let me just pause that there. Okay, here we go. So I didn't have a lot of time to put this show together. I'm going to be traveling very quickly. I'm going to try to bring some more equipment with me so I can stay on the air. I'm probably going to be gone to the 1st, 2nd, maybe even the 3rd, preferably to the 6th of January. If any of these conspiracies are true and we're facing the unknown, I'm heading down south. For those of you that are in the Florida area, I will be in Florida tomorrow, God willing. By the grace of God, I will be in the sky with my boys, and I will be down in Florida for the next week to 10 days. So drop me a line. Maybe I'll have a cup of coffee with you. In any event, let's get going. So let's start on X again, since Twitter seems to be the epicenter. Elon Musk, a lot of his stuff here that he posts, So he posted yesterday, the power of the unelected federal bureaucracy has grown to become an unconstitutional fourth branch of government, especially with the creation of their own internal court system. It has become the most powerful branch of government. We must fix this. I have to agree. I love the rhetoric. I love what these guys are claiming to stand for. Will they actually get to, do all of this? I don't know. Who's he calling out? Who elected the FBI? Who elected the IRS? Who elected the CIA? Who elected the FDA? Who elected the DOJ? Who elected the NIH? Who elected the ATF? Who elected the CDC? Who elected the DOE? Who elected the WEF? Who elected Dr. Fauci? Who elected the WHO? And I could go on. I love it. If these guys are really going to do what they're saying they're going to do, we might actually have a chance. What I'm scared of is if we've already been this infiltrated, which I have claimed for many years on this show. If you're new to my show, welcome. You might think I'm crazy. Give me a few episodes. I promise you'll fall in love. Ask my friends. They'll tell you he's a little crazy, but he makes sense sometimes. I've been screaming in the wilderness. I've been calling out this type of stuff for years. In real life, before I was on camera, before I decided to have a midlife crisis and jump on the internet and make these videos for you to watch and get death threats sent to me every fucking day. But I'm Albanian. I fear no one but God. I believe in the First and Second Amendment like a motherfucker. I consider myself a person in the middle who leans hard to the right. So, with that said, all of these departments, in my opinion, corrupt, do nothing but punish the American people, double-edged justice, rules for them, not for us, that type of stuff, vice versa, whatever. If we look at some of the comments on this post, I love to read comments. I don't know about you people. I do. I read your comments all the time, so drop one. Who elected Kamala Harris to run for president? Someone threw that one. Well, no one. That's why she lost. They won't cry when our newly elected president lowers energy costs, enhancing the lowering of gas prices, which in turn lowers the cost of food and inflation overall. For most of our country's history, most of these unelected agencies have, for the most part, stayed in line. The problem started around 2009 when all of them became more and more weaponized for the Democratic Party. Uncle Carter, whoever you are that posted this, man, they got out of line, in my opinion, the day that JFK got whacked, in my fucking opinion. Some would even question if they had some type of involvement or knew about it. I mean, I'm not going to get into all that, but you know where I stand with that. The WHO isn't a part of the U.S. government and can only issue recommendations, which governments can choose to act on or not. Without the IRS, you couldn't even have a police force or courts. You're suggesting for-profit police would be a very bad idea, as we've seen with private prison companies. Without the FBI, no one to enforce federal criminal law or go after corrupt state police. Listen, I'm not for wiping out all these agencies, but the way they've been weaponized against the American people, you go do with your taxes what a lot of these people do in power, you'll be in prison. You'll be in prison. Go ask Wesley Snipes how he feels if he would get a pardon. So, we're living in very interesting times indeed. You got to be on X to see all these memes. Look at this one. Did someone say unelected influencer? And they show his rotten ass face. Elon Musk is an unelected despot who is controlling Trump. So, if you don't know who this is, okay, this fucking guy is in pictures with every world leader from here to Albania. I swear to God, I shit you not. Okay? These people are involved in all kinds of shit. They fund all kinds of shit. And what's funny is, whether it's left or right, you see them everywhere. These are the real leaders of our country and the world. These are the people propping up most of the politicians across the globe. This is a fact. A lot of these people wonder, well, how did we get these parades? And where do these groups come from? And these NGOs and these political groups that sprout out all over the world. It's these fucking people. If you don't know who this is, I'm not going to tell you. But I'll tell you his last name rhymes with Rolos. His last name rhymes with Rolos. Like the chocolates that are wrapped in caramel? But the first letter of his last name starts with an S. And it rhymes with Rolos. His father's first name is George. They're involved everywhere. I promise you. And there's so many layers to this deception. I promise you, even if we think we have heroes, even if we think we have heroes, I promise you they are not to be trusted until the day comes. I think the cat is so far out of the bag, and I wouldn't put it past people like this to create a hero. That's why I don't trust anyone. I really don't. We've been betrayed so many times. And people that want to talk about, well, the last time around, homeboy was in office. Mr. Orange Man was in office when they were doing a lot of this totalitarian shit. He could have stopped it with a federal order. He didn't. Well, he had to do it to fight the corruption. I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. I know a shitload of people took something into their system that they probably should not have taken. I know he boasted about it. He was proud about warp speed and all that bullshit. So I don't trust so easily. I really don't care. I don't care how great they talk. Politicians, that's what they do. They talk great until they get into power. I will believe when I see what they keep talking about. Now, do I think there's some truth to what they're posting, what Elon's posting? Yeah, I do. But I still want to see action. I want to see his ass get in there and start using the sledgehammer that he's talking about. Taking down these agencies and regrouping them and fucking doing what he's promising to do. That's when I'll believe again. But what's unbelievable is how this illegal migrant, fucking illegal alien, got into the country multiple times and set a woman on fire as she slept on the train. And then people want to talk about, open borders. Well, there's all you need to know about open borders. That woman would be alive right now if this piece of human waste didn't get across the border. Okay? Very simple. This mentally deranged human being. So, we live in a world where things are upside down. So let's
Absolutely
see what Trump had to say here. They all had their meeting the other day. Everyone was down there. Let's hear what Trumpy boy had to say. You ready?
What they've done to this country is just absolutely terrible. But we'll end the left's campaign of racial discrimination and restore equality to our land and all over our land. And you see that happening so much with the vote and the kind of...
Listen, I love what he's saying. Not arguing against the guy. I endorsed him publicly. It is what it is, right? I just pray to God, if this guy gets in and he's actually going to do what he says he's going to do, we might have a shot, but it's not going to come easy. There's been theories that they've smuggled in nuclear shit. Maybe the country's being held hostage. Who the fuck knows what's going on? All I want to ask you is to think this. If there is an elite group of people who have that kind of power, and they're about to be exposed, like yesterday's episode, where I showed you what Elon Musk posted on his wall, that meme of the 3 ships, if you remember from yesterday's episode, talking about the guy from the island, the Clintons, the this, the that. If these people have done what a lot of people think they have done, sorry about that. I have some idiots. I have my phone connected here. I apologize to my Bluetooth. And I apologize for that inconvenience. In any event, if they're in that much danger and they're going to be exposed and their lives destroyed, and these people are some of the most powerful people in the world, do you think they will go silently into the night? They will be like caged animals that have nothing to lose. These are people, in my opinion, that have started wars all over the world. Millions of people have lost their lives. Do you think they give a shit if millions more perish for them to create chaos in the world or to scorch the earth on their way out to oblivion? No, because they're psychos. So the question is, do you think, even if Trump does everything we pray and believe and hope and voted for and are praying for, there's layers to this deception. Will he be able to pull it off? Are they really on our side? And there's another group of people that they all seem to bow to. Are they really controlled by them or not? Because if you're the American president, you shouldn't be controlled by anyone. You shouldn't be lobbied by anyone. There's no one that should be able to influence your opinion. If you really care about this country, you will do what's best for it, regardless of what favors you took, regardless of what money you took. If you're going to fuck anyone over, fuck those people over. And for once, help the American people. Betray your donors. Betray your lobbyists. Betray these people if their interests don't align for the American. For once, put the American people first. Before the lobbies, before the banksters, before these people who are behind the curtains, if you're the real deal. When I see that, then I'll say, hallelujah, 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 as the Muslims would say. The Christian would say, hallelujah. The Muslim says, hallelujah. Hallelujah. So, that's what I'm praying for. Now, let's see what Trump people had to say, because I cut him off here. He's saying beautiful stuff here.
The vote we got, nobody ever expected anything like that. And I'll end all of the Marxist diversity, equity, and inclusion policies across the entire federal government immediately. And at the same time, we will ban these unlawful policies from we're going to ban them from the private sector as well. In America, we believe in the merit system, and now because of the major decision handed down recently by the Supreme Court, our country has again gone back to the merit system. That's what made our country great. And I want to just thank the Supreme Court, because that took a great deal of courage for them to do that. And some people were surprised by it, but that's what made us great. Merit made us great.
So I agree, man. It shouldn't matter how you look, your background. It should be based on your intelligence, how hard you work. Okay? It's racist the other way. I don't care which race you prop up or which, based on your merits. Period. So you have Charlie Kirk here. He posted
out of the gate,
Tom,
day one, we're going to focus on public safety threats and national. Out of the gate,
Tom Homan, okay, incoming border czar. Let's see what he had to say at this Turning Point USA.
day one, we're going to focus on public safety threats and national security threats. They're first. They're coming first. In Tren de Agua, your days are numbered. My gang's bigger than your gang. And we're going to take you out of the country. We're going to port you out of here.
Gang, gang.
Who do you think you are, coming to the greatest nation on earth and victimizing Americans in this country? Your days are numbered. You're number one on the list. Out of the gate, day one, we're going.
Oh, he's calling these cartels out, bro. We are living in interesting times indeed, friends. Do you think they're going to be able to do this? Let's see what Elon had to say on this next clip.
It would make sense because it's extremely complicated and there are too many loopholes. You know, I'm often pitched on these loopholes. That's how I know they exist. And I'm like, that sounds pretty shady. I don't think we should do that. They're like, well, lots of other people are getting away with it. Well, like, yeah, but I still don't think we should do it. Reform of the tax code.
Your tax dollars are being wasted on nothing. More than 75% of federal office space sits vacant. Think about that. With only 6% of the federal employees working in person on a regular basis. Taxpayers are paying to keep the lights on when nobody's home. Sounds like a job for Doge. Now, I've already told you, I think where this all leads is to them announcing a certain cryptocurrency, whether it's XRP or Doge. And they're going to say, this is how, by using blockchain and the universal ledger, money will never disappear again. These billions of dollars that have been spent that they can't account for. And this is how they will push the world order into using electronic currency. And I believe that that is the prison of tomorrow. And yes, many of you will become very wealthy trading these currencies. Many of you have already. But I promise you, all roads lead to Rome. I promise you, one day, by using these currencies, you will lose freedoms that you will never get back. I know some have called me crazy and stupid, and you don't know how it works, and you don't understand decentralization. We will see. We will see. Unlike you trolls, here I am, public. I stand by this statement. Crypto will be the downfall of personal freedom on this planet. And even if this administration's amazing and we have a golden age for 10 or 20 or 30 years, if we're lucky, if we can push back oblivion for at least a generation, because that's all I'm praying for. Because evil never stops. It's like weeds. They keep popping up. It's a constant battle. It's a constant push. And the devil is patient. He'll lay his traps. He'll plant his seeds. He'll let one generation, 2 generations go by, and then he'll push his agenda. We know one day this world, if you believe in a creator, it will come down. We believe in a day of judgment. We believe in a day of chaos. We believe in Armageddon. And we know that sooner or later, those prophecies, for those of you that believe in the highest of all powers, the one that created the heavens and the earth, you know that one day will come to pass. And the Messiah that we all love in different ways, Christ, peace and blessings be upon him, Jesus, Isa, whatever you call him, he will return to this earth. For those of you that are spiritual. So eventually those prophecies will come true, as many of them have, and many are right in front of our eyes. But we are too blind to see it. I personally am not as optimistic as many are and hope to be. Although I believe you should never lose hope and you should always push against evil, even if it costs you your life. You should speak the truth, even if it costs you your life. For better to live a moment speaking the truth than to live 100 years a liar, 100 years a coward. Better to have a backbone in this short life that we live than go before Almighty God with your head bowing to the ground, for you sold out your fellow man and woman. You sold out your nation. You sold out your neighbor, and you sold out humanity. For those of you who have made billions on the backs of people suffering, May the wrath of God reach you and all that you love and hold precious. May he leave you nowhere to hide on this life or the next. May you pay for every innocent drop of blood you have ever spilt, you warmongering, war financing, military industrial supporting motherfuckers. May your day come. May God expose you before the world. And if humanity allows you to continue, then they deserve everything that happens. But I believe there is a great awakening going on. A great awakening that they are trying to destroy, that they are trying to suppress. And this is that moment. This is that chance that you have as a human being, as an American, as whatever you are, wherever you are, to say, I will not go quietly into the night. I will not surrender my inalienable rights. I will speak freely. I will stand for what's right. I will speak against war. I will push for peace. I will push for the truth. And I will do with the free will that God gave me what I should be doing. Speaking out against injustice. Speaking out against war. Speaking out against corruption. Speaking out against these liars. And holding all that you love so much, these people, accountable for their promises. I want to believe. I want to be all giddy and wear a red hat, but not until they prove themselves. I won't. We've been betrayed too much. We've been misused. Our good faith as Americans has been redirected. They've made us turn on each other. We have lost so much. We have lost our values. We have lost so many things that millions of Americans gave their lives for, whether it was foreign enemies, whether it was the civil rights movement, to get to a point where we could all coexist in the greatest experiment in humanity. We bow to no king or queen in this country. Don't you ever forget that. And stop sucking these politicians' asses like they're God, because they're not. We the people, we are the ones with the power. Don't ever fucking forget that. But as long as we stand divided, as long as we go to each other's throats, as long as we allow them to divide us by class, race, religion, sex, sexual preference, we will be weak. And we are not we the people. We are we, they, him, she, we, thee, we, million different acronyms, the people. And that's the game. That was the whole point of it. We live in a nation where everyone has a right to pursue happiness, peace, security, the right to be equal. What you do in your bedroom's your choice. No one's coming to stop you. You want to fucking go with a guy and you're a guy? Go ahead, bro. Do I agree with it? Me personally, spiritually, it's against what I believe in. But that's your choice. You want to do it? Do it. That's between you, God. America's giving you the right to do it? Do it. You don't have a right to push it on me. You don't have a right to push it on my children. Keep it to yourself. It's a private matter. Private parts. You want to chop your fucking ding-a-ling off? Go ahead. It's your private matter. No need to preach it to children. When they get old enough, if they want to chop their wee-wees off, they can. No one's going to stop them. They want to chop their fucking sausages off, no one's going to stop them. They have that right as an American. You don't have the right to groom them. You just don't. You do as you wish. Go have your own kids if you can, biologically. Go have your own kids. Teach them whatever you want. Preach to them whatever you want. I will teach my kids to believe in God, to follow 10 commandments, to have respect to every human being, to not be full of hatred, to have mercy, to have compassion, to be an upright, standing citizen who believes in the under one God nation that we're supposed to be. That is how I will teach my child. You do not teach my child. And you fucking teachers better get in line, because we're all getting sick of your bullshit too. The classroom is not a place for you to preach your personal doctrine or beliefs. You wanted to take God out of the classroom, so take your fucking nonsense out too. You wanted to be neutral? Great, then shut the fuck up and stop pushing these agendas on our children. Otherwise, give us the tax money that you take from us, from our towns, and I like Trump's plan, allow us to take our kids to school wherever we want. And then I will take my kids to a school that teaches them about God, and you can take your kids to a school where they teach them to chop their fucking dicks off. I don't care. But I'm not going to pay and get fucked by the same system anymore. And I think a lot of you that are watching this should feel the same way. Education is very important. It creates the next generation of our thinkers. And we have a right to teach our children the way we believe with our ideals. So that is what I want to say. That's all. The bird flu, the background story that's been hanging on for a few months, is starting to peek its head. The bird flu case reported in LA after state officials declare an emergency. LA County health officials reported the first human case of bird flu in the area less than a week after statewide emergency declaration was announced. In a statement released on Monday, the LA County Department of Public Health said the human case of H5 bird flu was detected in an adult who was exposed to livestock infected with the virus at a work site. The unnamed adult had mild symptoms. The overall risk of H5 bird flu to the public remains low. For now. If I was a betting man, this thing's going to poke its head up with a vengeance right around January 6th to the 20th. That's my prediction, but only God knows the future. I promise you it will. This is reported by ABC News. Bird flu case detected in Mississippi chicken. Just out of nowhere. Mainstream seems to be popping up everywhere. It's set, charged, and primed. So, interesting times indeed, my friends. Biden faces fury of senator for commuting death sentences for killers. So, Senator Eric Schmidt, Republican, joined the Faulkner Focus Monday to react to President Joe Biden's decision to commute the death sentences of 37 federal inmates, including mass murderers and child killers. This is on foxnews.com. So, and I think Joe Biden, in his effort to Trump-proof, we saw some of that. For the next administration, whether it's hiding the workers or things at the border, this is just beyond the pale. And I think he's cementing his status as one of the worst presidents in America. Not the way, he is 100% the worst president ever. Ever. It's important, as a former prosecutor myself, I think it's important to talk about the victims here. Lexis Roberts went on a camping trip with her mother and Thomas Sanders. Thomas Sanders, on the way back, took her mother out and executed her in cold blood in front of Alexis, then slit Lexis Roberts' throat and let her die in the woods. This is someone that Joe Biden, on the eve of Christmas, decided to commute his sentence. This is nuts. This is totally nuts. And so the outrage is real. Because this is disgusting. This is who's in power. Let's look at some of the comments. I have listened to the reasoning and responses several times today. Please help me understand their point on the three they did not address. If you're addressing people on death row because you do not believe in it or you do not want to address equality, then why not modify the other three? None of the sentences should have been modified, but if you have a moral obligation, then why not address everyone? Trust me, I believe none of these should have been modified, but to not address these three has to be based on a political bias. So he violates the very moral approach they articulated, and whoever is running this country, because it's definitely not Joe Biden. It has not been Joe Biden. Newsflash for all of you that loved him. He hasn't been the one calling the shots. The most scary thing should be is actually who's been calling the shots. Who's been running the country? Who's behind the curtain? Who's the Wizard of fucking Oz in America? I leave it as a rhetorical question because I have a very good idea who it is. But unfortunately, if I speak it, I'll get banned and attacked and fucking doxxed and fucking, we can't speak freely. Answer the question yourselves. Drop a fucking comment if you want to. Who is the Wizard of Oz in America? Because Joey Boy was not running this country. He wasn't. He was too busy ice cream and sniffing people and fucking didn't know where he was walking or going. So who's been running the country? Ask yourselves that. That's a scary fucking question. How do we know there's not the same situation on the other side? We don't know. We're going to find out. They talked a good game. Let's see them do what they've been promising us. Elon's been talking an amazing game. Let's see it, brother. Let's see it. Ivy Lee suspect in United Healthcare killing pleads not guilty. I mean, I guess we all saw that one coming. You know? He was arraigned on 11 state charges, including murder and first degree. Charges include 1 count of murder in the first degree, blah, blah, blah. I'm very concerned about my client's right to a fair trial. He's a young man. He's being treated like a human ping pong ball between two warring jurisdictions. This guy looks different every time you see him in a picture. Like, the only thing that kind of looks the same is his schnoz. He's got a massive schnoz. Luigi leaves Manhattan Criminal Court on December 23rd. Was arraigned on state murder charges in the killing. Here he is smiling. It's just interesting, man. I'm so tired of this claim that public statements violate the right to a fair trial. Free speech is also a right. Plus, Eric Adams actually said something true, and that should be applauded because he's a Democrat, and they don't usually do that. Eric Adams is whatever the fuck he needs to be to not go to jail. So right now, he's technically Republican. He's going to kiss Trump's ass, the mayor of New York City. He's going to suck that ass. He's sucking that ass. D.C. police officer convicted of tipping off Proud Boys leader before the Capitol attack. This is reported by The Guardian. Make the story short, there was a cop. He tipped him off. You're going to get arrested. The guy still came. Isn't it crazy how they said the Proud Boys were racist? The guy was black, bro. Like black. Black is black. I mean, that's him right there. Like this was the leader of the Proud Boys. They said white supremacist. Does that look white to you based on, does he look white to you? Remember they were trying to say they're white supremacists, they're this, they're that, they're... Does he look white to you? That's all I have to say. No, he doesn't. Baby mammoth in Russia is the best preserved ever found. Baby mammoth, from like the dinosaur age. Let's take a look at this. Researchers in Siberia have unveiled the well-preserved remains of a baby mammoth. The 50,000-year-old female mammoth has been nicknamed Yana after the river in whose basin it was discovered this summer. Experts say it is the best preserved mammoth carcass in the world and is one of the only 7 who remains ever found. Studies will be carried out to work out her exact age of death. They go the best preserved. She's missing like half her body, but still, like, that's crazy. If this is real, there's a lot of people skeptical, man. What are your thoughts on the dinosaurs? I've heard people like Zherka talk about it. Very interesting. Dinosaurs, real or not real? People are questioning everything now. Earth, flat or round? You listen to all this shit, you start losing your fucking mind. You don't even know what's real anymore. We live in a time of mass deception. You think you knew it all. You finished college and you start listening to this theory, that theory, that you start questioning if you're fucking even alive anymore. I'm serious, man. It's crazy. Information overload. What are your thoughts on the dinosaurs, folks? Drop a comment, man. You think this mammoth's real? Do you think the whole dinosaur history we were taught is real? What is your opinion? Drop a comment. I'd love to read about it. Nasir Ali and Dr. Risky and Fat City. I see you in the chat. Drop a comment. Terrifying moment. Crew scramble to safety with seconds to spare as cargo ship capsizes and sinks. This happened in Turkey. Let's play a little video here. Look at this. That ship is just completely tipping over. Metal containers coming off. Massive ship. It's just weird. I wonder what made it. It must have been the weight. Well, that's one way to get the containers off. That crew's probably like, what's going on? Igor, you did something wrong here. The ship is finished. So it keeps bending towards the left. They should have took the crane and started just taking them off as fast as they can. That's what they should have done. But yeah, that ship's done. Interesting article here I'd like to read to you. This is about the pager attacks in Lebanon. We all knew it was the Mossad, but what's interesting is the amount of time they said passed before they actually carried out this pre-planned attack. Times of Israel reports ex-Mossad agents detail exploding Hezbollah pager operation that broke Nasrallah. Face is covered. 2 recently retired senior Israeli intelligence agents have shared new details about a deadly clandestine operation years in the making that targeted Hezbollah terrorists in Lebanon and Syria using exploding pagers and walkie-talkies. One of them said the psychological effect the attack had on Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, who he asserted saw pagers blow up operatives right next to him, was the tipping point of the war. On September 17, thousands of pagers used by Hezbollah operatives across Lebanon suddenly began to explode. The attack, swiftly attributed to Israel, came as Israel began to step up a counteroffensive against the Iran-backed Hezbollah. Some 1,200 people in Israel, mostly civilians, were killed in the Hamas onslaught, blah, blah, blah. One agent said the operation started 10 years ago using 10 years ago. 10 years ago. One agent said the operation started 10 years ago using walkie-talkies laden with hidden explosives, which Hezbollah didn't realize it was buying from Israel. We created a pretend world, said the officer, who went by the name Michael. Phase 2 of the plan, using the booby trap pagers, began in 2022 after Israeli Mossad intelligence agencies learned Hezbollah had been buying pagers from a Taiwan-based company. The pagers had to be made slightly larger to accommodate the explosives hidden inside. They were tested on dummies multiple times to find the right amount of explosives that would hurt only the Hezbollah fighter and not anyone else in close proximity. Mossad also tested numerous ringtones to find out the sound urgent enough to make some people pull the pager out of their pocket. The second agent, who went by the name Gabriel, said it took 2 weeks to convince Hezbollah to switch to the hefty pager, in part by using false ads on YouTube promoting devices as dustproof, waterproof, providing a long battery life. He described the use of the shell companies, including one based in Hungary, to dupe the Chinese firm Gold Apollo into unknowingly partnering with the Mossad. Hezbollah also was unaware it was working with Israel. Gabriel compared the ruse to a 1998 psychological film about a man who has no clue that he's living in a false world, as he is ostensible family and friends are actors to pay to keep up the illusion. When they are buying from us, they have zero clue that they are buying from the Mossad. Everything was 100% kosher, including businessman, marketing, engineering. It just shows you the level of how far spying and intelligence groups can go, that they planned something like this 10 years ago to have it ready if the need would ever come. I wonder what else they have planned. I wonder what else they have planned. Ukraine war briefing, more than 3,000 North Korean military casualties in Russia's Kursk, Zelensky claims. Ukraine president criticizes world leaders for doing almost nothing to counteract Moscow's military cooperation with Pyongyang. What we know on day 1035. Well, no, we've only sent you fucking trillions of dollars. Yeah, we've done nothing. We've sent you fucking trillions of dollars, special forces, 100% they're on the ground helping you fight and fire missiles and shit that you have no idea how to fire, because they're all made in America. No, we did nothing, Zelensky. You're right. You want us to come and fight the fucking war for you. No thanks. No troops on the ground, ever. It's enough you got trillions of dollars. But you'll bail. I'll bet my life. You'll leave. You'll leave that country when it's all over. A very, very wealthy man. Israel's Netanyahu orders military to destroy Houthis. I have instructed our forces to destroy the infrastructure of the Houthis because anyone who tries to harm us will be struck with full force. We will continue to crush the forces of evil with strength and ingenuity, even if it takes time, Netanyahu told the parliament. So that situation is still going on. Israeli troops will occupy Syria buffer zone for the foreseeable future. 9 killed in Iran as bus fuel truck collides, state media. This is from Arab News. Gaza officials say Israeli strikes on hospital terrifying. An official from one of the only 2 functioning hospitals in northern Gaza told the AFP on Monday that Israeli forces were continuing to target his facility and urged the international community to intervene before it's too late. Don't worry, they won't. They'll hit another hospital. So, this guy, there was rumors that Bashar al-Assad's wife was leaving him. The Russians are saying, no, she's not. Do not allow Assad's wife to live a life of luxury in Britain. Number 10 told Bashar al-Assad's British-born wife must not be allowed to live a life of luxury in the UK. Sir Keir Starmer was told after rumors she was seeking a divorce and a return to London. Asma al-Assad and her husband have reportedly been confined to Moscow, and their property assets had been frozen by authorities since seeking asylum there. Reports in the Turkish media suggested she wanted to move back to the UK, where she holds dual nationality for cancer treatment. So they're on the run, as many ex-dictators are. And I'm pretty sure that the International Court will now very soon announce him a war criminal and bring him to trial. So, crazy, crazy, crazy. But evil always has a bad end. This guy's always looked like just a weird fucking guy, man. He's just a weird-looking dude, man. Thank you, Vyosa, for your support on tonight's episode. We greatly appreciate it. Feel free to ask me a question in the super chat and send your kind support, and I'll read the question as long as it's not crazy. I liked what I heard today from, I don't know if this is from Trump or not, if it's old or not, but it was posted by David Harris. So let me play the clip. And it's another thing that gives me hope. Here we go. Let me see where that's at.
A corrupt globalist scam paid for by the United States.
Now he's talking about the WHO. So let's play it from the beginning.
Organization has become nothing more than a corrupt globalist scam paid for by the United States but owned and controlled by China. When the China virus reached our shores 3 years ago, the World Health Organization disgracefully covered the tracks of the Chinese Communist Party every single step of the way. For this reason, it was my great honor to terminate America's relationship with the World Health Organization. The United States was paying the World Health Organization almost $500 million a year. When I dropped out, I took it out of there. And for 330 million people, even though China was paying only $40 million for 1.4 billion people. So we had 330, they have 1.4, and we're paying more than 10 times the amount. That's typical for the United States because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Unfortunately, crooked Joe Biden foolishly re-entered the World Health Organization at the full price and without any negotiations or reforms. And now Biden is pushing to bypass the United States Senate to enter a pandemic treaty that would surrender American sovereignty to the World Health Organization, again controlled by China. The draft treaty would require the United States to send vast quantities of medical supplies to other countries in the event of another pandemic, and it would push aggressive censorship of free speech on issues of public health, just like they censored the truth about the Wuhan lab, which I said that's where it came from, remember. Under the next Trump administration, that treaty will be immediately terminated. I would not allow public health to be used as a pretext to advance the march of global government. That's what they're doing, globalists. The United States will withdraw from the corrupt World Health Organization, which, in light of its utter failure on COVID, they had a tremendous disaster on COVID, deserves to be completely abolished and replaced. Then I will work to forge a new coalition of nations that are strongly committed to protecting health while also upholding sovereignty and freedom. I want to thank you very much, but I also want to say this. I could have renegotiated the deal. I could have gone into the World Health Organization for $25 million. Biden didn't take that deal. He's paying almost $500 million. They were so anxious to get the United States back after I terminated the agreement. They were so anxious to get it back that they offered me a deal, $25 to $30 million. And I said, no, I'll wait. Could have gotten it for less, but I didn't want less at that point. We were paying almost $500 million. Could have done it for $25 to $30. Biden took the almost the $500 million deal. He knew he could have gotten back in for less. So why did he pay so much? But that's just one of many things that are wrong with our country. Thank you very much.
You see, I love it. I'm not going to lie. He's saying all the right stuff. Now, will he do it? Can he finish the game? Can he finish the battle? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if he puts the American people before everyone else. Any country, I don't give a fuck, in the Middle East, anywhere. Will he really make America first? Let's see. He's saying the right stuff. Now he's got to do it. Someone that sold America out, especially to the World Trade Organization, Bill Clinton, hospitalized with a fever. Can't say I feel bad anymore. And yes, as an Albanian, it hurts me to say it. It hurts me to say it that as an American, I do not support a lot of his policies. When I went back, because I was a young man. I was very young. I wasn't even a man. I was a boy when Bill Clinton was president, 92, 93. I was in 4th grade. And I went and I listened to the World Trade Organization when they allowed China in. And then I realized what happened to our economy and NAFTA and the trade agreements. And yes, he helped my people in Kosovo, but I know that they didn't help us because they love us. Let's be real. We're one day away from being reinvaded. We're waiting for the world to make us strong, when the only people that can make us strong is each other, my Albanian brothers and sisters. They left more weapons to terrorists than they did to us, who love this country and would do anything for America. Yet we are exposed and surrounded by hostile neighbors. And he has a statue standing in the middle of Kosovo. And yet we have a very small army with no real hard military or tanks or anything to really defend that country. We are sitting ducks at the mercy of the West. And one administration, $1 from a lobbyist away from maybe once again being reinvaded and occupied. So, they didn't come to help us. That's the truth. They came because they needed something. And anyone that wants to argue on it, argue. They want to put the Ukraine into NATO that's in the middle of a war with fucking Russia, yet we've been an independent nation recognized by them that kisses their ass, and they won't even fucking finance us or arm us or like let us have a big army. Nothing. So, we are in trouble in the Balkans. Yes, Albania's in NATO, but that's not Kosovo. So, who knows what's going to happen? All I know is, one administration, one lobbyist, one vote away, and maybe I lose the rest of my friends and family that I didn't lose in 1998. So if you're an American, I just want you to know the Albanians love you. The Albanian people love you. If you work in the government and you're a congressman or a senator, don't forget the Albanians, since you've been cutting checks all over the fucking world. You've been sending trillions of dollars all over the place, even to Iran, a country that wants to destroy America. Why won't you arm the Albanians and balance the checks and balances in the Balkans to create an everlasting peace? A country that loves you, a nation that thanks you for over 100 years. We need your help more than ever as we sit in the crossroads of the empires. But I don't hold my breath, and I pray that my people will prevail. But we are in danger. With that said, I apologize for being late today. We're wrapping up this year. I'm going to try to take some of this equipment with me so I can keep the quality up. I didn't get a chance to take away my little boys, and it's been a while. And Daddy promised them he's going to take them somewhere. I also want to get out of the tri-state area until at least the 5th or 6th of the new year for my own reasons and for much of what I've talked about on this show. Just to be extra cautious. Do I feel any empathic things like something's going to happen? No. However, one of my children had a dream that they saw a nuclear flash. And I do believe in dreams, and I believe in God. And those were the rumors last week. And for my child to see that type of dream, I will not take it lightly, because I've had many dreams in my life come true. And those of you that believe in God and believe in spirituality know that sometimes God gives you a warning. I'm going to take it as a warning. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I'm not saying to be alarmed. But I'm someone that believes in the supernatural. I believe in the one above the heavens and the earth. I believe in the God that created Joseph. Peace and blessings be upon him. And the power of Joseph was to see dreams that came true and to tell you their meaning. And as someone who has been spiritual in his life, and yes, I've been down and back and forth and all around, there have been very few moments in my life, but there have been moments where I have seen dreams that have come true. And I believe the closer you are to the Creator, the more those dreams come true. And I don't know if I'm in God's good graces. I pray that I am. I pray for his mercy. I pray for peace on this earth. But as a father, my children come first. I would do anything for them. I would give my life for them. I would, even as hard as it would be to do it, I would burn in hell for them. If I had to save them, I would. I've thought about that many times. If God gave me the chance and he was going to condemn one of my children to the fire, I would say, God, take me instead. And that is the love only a parent knows. And that is why, if you have parents, please respect them. Even if they weren't the best, if they weren't fucking child molesting you and all that stuff, if they tried to do their best and they made some mistakes, have mercy on them. The love of a parent is so deep. It really is. And I've seen what it's like when a parent loses their child. It's a devastating, echoing, sorrowful, heart-trembling experience to witness. And if you've lost a child, my heart goes out to you, because I don't think there's any greater pain on this earth and in this life than to lose your child. I really don't. I don't think there's anything worse. And we've seen the cries from the Middle East on both sides. Innocent life, when it's lost, and the families and what they go through. And as we're in the holidays, for those of you who celebrate whatever holidays you do, It's a time a lot of you gather with your families. I pray you really just look around the table, enjoy the meal you're having, say a prayer to thank God for the blessings that you've had, and just look around the table because someone might not be there next year, man. It's the truth. And if you still have your parents, like I still do, and I'm lucky that I do, tell them you love them because you might not get another chance. Life is so short, so unpredictable. I was watching videos yesterday of people being struck by lightning just out of the blue, and they didn't know they were going to get, it was just crazy. It came up on my feed. I'm like, man, these people had no idea that they're about to die. You don't know. But I do know that Fat City Comics sponsored this episode today, and I appreciate the support, Fat City Comics. And his comment says, you are amazing. No, you, my friend, are amazing. And thank you for your support. It's a very nice feeling to get the little bit of help I get from you all. I promise to keep expanding. I'm going to have funds coming in soon. And I swear to God, we're going to go all out. It's not going to be just a news show. It's going to be streaming. It's going to be interviews. I'm just tired. I'm juggling a lot. I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. And I promise you, I won't let you down. I'm going to keep fighting the good fight, and I'm going to bring you the best content possible. But right now, I'm juggling a lot of balls. But I promise you, a lot's coming, and may 2025 be the best year ever, not only for me and my team and my family, but for all of you, your loved ones, anything that you couldn't get in 2024. May God open the doors for you in 2025. But please take care of yourselves, take care of your health. Please put some direction into your life. I had a very successful year physically, health-wise this year. It was a comeback of all comebacks. I told you I wasn't going to just talk the game. I was going to make it happen, and I did. I still have a long way to go, but down 70 pounds since I started this journey in 2024, and it changed everything for me. And I have so much energy. I'm so much more productive. So if you're not healthy, please, 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 please make it a priority. My goal now is to quit smoking. I keep promising my boys. I can't believe I'm smoking. I started smoking about 2 years ago again. After not smoking for over a decade, I relapsed, and I really regret it. But unfortunately, it is extremely addictive, and I went through a very hard time the first time I quit. My goal is to get rid of that. It will not come with me into the new year, and I pray that I have not damaged myself these last 2 years, because I do smoke very heavily. Now, it does add a little bit of raspy to my voice and has made it very ASMR-like, and I'm sure some of you get off on it. I don't know. But I never knew. I got a lot of compliments. I love your voice, man. It sounds so good. Well, you can thank cigars and cigarettes for that, I guess. I love the way your voice sounds, Bek Lover. You can thank the cigars for that. The cigarettes made it a little rough and coursey. In the beginning, he was an Albanian born in Texas. He grew up in the New York City area to become a nightlife legend. He found God, fell off the path, and found him again, only to return to the world in the famous state of speaking about spiritual matters. He is Bek Lover. I want to thank all of you. I really do. I know tomorrow's a big day for a lot of you that celebrate. I'm wishing you an amazing time with your families. I'm praying for peace. I'm praying for the U.S. to make the comeback of all comebacks. I'm praying for us to stick together. I'm praying for a better tomorrow for our children. And I'm praying to not let you down. I love you all. Thank you so much. Shout out to Nasir X Viosa. Again, my man, Fat City Comics, much appreciated. Stefano, and everybody who has supported me for the last 5 years. We're still here, baby. We're still on the air. We're number 17 in Pakistan. We're number 50 on good pods across the nation. Whoever would have thought? With no help, no sponsors, no nothing. Thanks to you. Let's do it again. It's Bek Lover signing off. Make sure you hit that sub button. Live on X, live on YouTube. I'll post the episode on every podcast platform. And I'm out. Ciao. Sayonara. Word to your mother. There is no other. Bek Lover. He'll always be your brother. 'Cause he's Bek Lover. Sometimes I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. But that's what makes it interesting, no? Good night, my friends.